and let's pour. Now, most people want to put it in the refrigerator, but not me. I'm thirsty and I want it now. It's a hot day.
Coach Prime, pay attention. My man Zoe Phillips from the 1400 Club once told me, I do great scenarios. Well, people, this is a scenario. Coach Prime, Bucky, I want y'all to pay attention. I want to break this down in a way that makes so much sense to you, so much sense to ESPN, it's going to piss off a lot of people in Indiana. My name is Coach Simmons, and this scenario is brought to you by Kool-Aid. Maybe I'm drinking a little too much of it. Maybe I got a little too much Henny in the bottle. We're going to break this down right now. When it comes down to it, ESPN has a lot of money on the line for the college football playoff. When you put the money they put down, you want to see results. You want to see eyeballs. When you're doing a television show, it's not about this year's ratings. Not about last year's ratings, but next year's projected ratings. You want to be able to sell that slot, sell that time frame for the next year. So let's play devil's advocate, if you don't mind. The way it's going to go, the number one overall seed should be Oregon. They'll play in the Rose Bowl. Okay. Number 2 seed should be Georgia. They'll play in the Peach Bowl. All right. 3 seed should be SMU. Sugar Bowl. Okay. 4 seed. This is where it gets interesting. My prediction, it probably won't happen, but what I will say is my scenario, UNLV beats Boise State. It's hard to beat a team twice in 1 year. So they'll play in Phoenix. Only because the Big 12 champion could not outrank them. Let's be honest, people. Let's be honest about it, perfectly honest. Oregon, great team, dominant for decades. Great uniform colors. They're the ones that introduced the whole unlimited uniform colors. Great program, great facilities. But is anybody outside of Oregon checking for them? Do they pop a number? Do they bring ratings? SMU, great team, great school, great facilities. Dallas, Texas, great state, great money, $100 million in 24 hours. Great. Is anybody outside of Gerald Ford Stadium really checking for SMU? They don't pop a rating in Texas, let alone outside of Dallas. UNLV. This isn't the running Rebs. This isn't Jerry Tarkanian, Larry Johnson, Stacey Alwyn, and the boys. This is not them. This ain't Randall Cunningham. These are the regular UNLV Rebels. Don't have a home stadium. They play in the Raider Stadium. Is anybody really checking for UNLV outside of Vegas? Hell, honestly, inside of Vegas. Georgia, great dominant team. They are basically they're one quarterback away from being an NFL team. Great team, Georgia. Put more players in the pros than anybody can ever think of in 1 year. But is anybody outside of SEC checking for Georgia? Does Georgia pop a TV rating? No. The answer to all four of those questions is no. So what does that mean, Coach? Well, let's go to the first round. I have Arizona State going to Penn State. Does that pop a rating? Not quite. The reason I say not quite because I'm looking at it like if Arizona State wins, they get to go play in the Fiesta Bowl. That's intriguing. Can this team, which appears on paper to be completely outmatched, man up to get home to pay the quote unquote weaker team for a chance to go to the semifinals? That's intriguing. Texas versus Tennessee. Battle for the real UT. Burnt orange versus creamsicle. Mustard versus water bottles. The two most privileged teams in the SEC. The only two teams in the SEC, well, besides Baton Rouge, that play in the actual city. Not Tuscaloosa or Starkville or, no, Knoxville. I'm sorry, Nashville. Oh, yeah, Knoxville. In Austin, Texas. That's what you're looking at. Two rich, privileged country Western teams. That pops a rating. Ohio State, Notre Dame. Definitely, without a shadow of a doubt, should be the second highest rated game, probably the whole damn thing. Possibly. That leaves one more game. I hope Coach Prime will stay tuned in. Because this is where it becomes very, very interesting. ESPN has been known to be glazing the bone SEC. Mainly Alabama. Bama, Bama, Bama. Is Bama going to have a home game? Because we're not going to see an Alabama to Bloomington, Indiana. We're not going to see an Indiana to Alabama. The colors just it don't match on TV. It looks kind of odd with the same color uniforms, and it just don't look right. This is my only problem with the playoffs. What are we doing with Indiana? Indiana's schedule is basically nobody. I mean, let's be honest, people. They've beaten what FIU. Who the hell is this? Sanford. Some team like a dog. 77-3. Was it West Illinois, UCLA, Charlotte, Maryland, Northwestern, Nebraska, Washington, Michigan State, Michigan, Ohio State, Purdue. Now, because they beat the crap out of Nebraska, that puts a little chink in my scenario here. But ESPN don't give a crap about that. They'll take the arguments and make the money. What if they decided to put Colorado at Alabama? Coach, how are you going to do that? I'm glad you asked. Winner of UNLV versus Boise State gets in. Loser gets out. Colorado's 20th right now moving to 19. Clemson loses, they're out. Moving to 18. You going to put Colorado behind BYU? Moving to 17. Iowa State versus Arizona State. Losers out. Move them to 16. Well, Mississippi State, Ole Miss, and Miami. Ole Miss will get jumped. Move them to 15. Miami, move them to 14. This is where you get interesting, people. This is where it gets fun. They're at 14 right now. You gotta start asking yourself, who's gonna pop a bigger rating? South Carolina or Colorado? moving to 13. All they need is one more spot. That's Indiana. The only thing standing in the way between Colorado and the playoffs is in Bloomington, freaking Indiana. I'm not saying something bad's going to happen to Indiana, but I am going to say this right here. If Colorado gets in the playoffs, Indiana won't. And I know they have a common team, Nebraska. But if Colorado, if it came out of Colorado or Indiana, ESPN had to make a decision to make some money, don't be surprised if the Hoosiers are the ones sitting at home while the Buffaloes run free. It's Coach Simmons, and that's my scenario. Have a wonderful day.